Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Here we're going to be looking at how we can use v0.dev to generate, edit, and export code. And we're going to be seeing how we can provide instructions via text and via image. And as always, you can download the code and any accompanying notes from the link in the description. So let's go to v0.dev/chat. And here we're going to type in the instructions for what we're looking for. So I want something that will help me with my productivity. So I'm just going to ask it to create a daily productivity dashboard. Press enter, and it is going to take a little bit of time because it is working in React, and it's going to be a little more complex than HTML and JavaScript that we have used Cursor for in the past. It is also going to create a much more elaborate application than we have seen. Now it is creating all of these different files, so it's putting each of the components into different files, which is very good from an organization perspective. It can get a little tricky sometimes when you're trying to paste that into your application. So sometimes you have to do a little bit of copy pasting, and you have to sometimes tell it to put it all inside one file and so on. But that's a small price to pay, in my opinion. So here we have the outputted dashboard. Let me see if any of these are actually working. So it looks like we are able to interact with some of these we're not able to interact with. And these don't happen to be dynamic. But overall, it doesn't look too terrible. I'm just going to tell it to make it so that these are more interactive and actually accurate. So I'm going to say task summary is not accurate. Base it off of task list. Same for productivity score. The good thing about giving more directed commands is that it will try to only edit the files which are specifically related to what you want it to do. So it will try to avoid changing a lot of the other files as well. And that will obviously make it a little bit faster. So now if I do 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, let me see if I can add some. So let's say, maybe we say develop code as our task. Now if I click this, click here, you can see that our productivity score is 100%. And the daily habits we can probably just get rid of. And you can keep on playing around with this. Super addictive, super fun. So the next thing that I want to show you here is how you can play around with some of the buttons that are available here. And currently we are on the preview. We've already seen code where it is going to have the actual code base, which is being used to display the application. We can actually make some changes in the code. This was not something which was available previously to us, but nowadays it is available. So maybe if I want to change something over here, just say my productivity score and hit save. If I go over to preview, let's go down, you can see it says my productivity score right away. And sometimes you might have to reload depending on whether or not it is a React component or a HTML. Last time I was trying to do this in HTML, and it would always make me want to reload the page. You can very easily do that by coming over here, and you can see all the progress or all the changes we had made have disappeared, but we still have our my in front of the productivity score. You also have access to the console. So if there are going to be any console outputs, basically JavaScript console logs, they're going to be available here. Also, if you want to see previous versions, basically currently we have 2 versions, so version 1, version 2. If you want to go back to a previous version, you can just click that. And here we're back to the previous version where when we click here, it doesn't actually change the productivity score or the number of tasks completed. All right, let's come back here. And if you click this button, by the way, restore, what it will do is it will delete all the things that came after that. So if there were, say, 4 versions, you went to version 2 and hit restore, it is going to get rid of version 3 and version 4. Okay, let's go back to the most current version. Okay, all right, so we're back. And how can you get this inside your code? There are a few ways of doing this. One is obviously you can just come to the code, you can hit copy, or you can hit download, which will download this specific file. But if you want to do it such that this replaces your code base, or maybe this is the first step in your development, so you don't really have any other code, what you can do is you can just come here, click on add to code base. You can download the entire code base as a zip file, or you can actually do this, which is going to allow you to copy, and then you go over to the terminal, paste, press enter, and this is going to set up a project for you, and it is going to install all the necessary libraries, so on and so on. So here it's going to start a Next.js project. Let's just go along with it. Okay, I'm just going to select New York style. This is basically making you select the styling for your shadcn UI. So shadcn is essentially the library that it is going to be using to style our website. Just press yes. Okay, it looks like it has created this app for us here, and I'm going to cd into that. npm run dev, and looks like it has started, and I'm just going to control click. And just like that, we have our app available to us right here. So that was super cool. Let's see if it's working. There we go. Looks like it's working correctly. There are some differences here, obviously, and you can try and fix that inside the CSS files that are going to be accompanying the rest of the application inside here. But that is essentially how you can sort of replace or start your coding, by having a front end be generated for you. And then if you want to add more blocks, you can just continue generating and either copy paste or download them as zip files. Let's come back here. So the next thing that you can do is you can fork. So sometimes what happens is, you're on version 10, version 15, and you want to split so that you have something which you like. So maybe version 15 is something that you like, and you want to continue making edits to, a different version of it. You can very easily just click fork, and then it will create another fork where the current version is now version 1, and you can either continue making edits to this one, or you can go back and make edits to the previous one, keeping one copy completely clean. You can also share your code and make this publicly available. I rarely do that, but if you want, you can do that. And then you can also deploy this on Vercel. And if you click deploy, you can go ahead and deploy this on Vercel. As we've covered before, Vercel is a platform which allows you to very easily deploy front-end applications, and they manage all the infrastructure and the servers for you, so that you don't have to bother with any of those things. And that's essentially most of the settings and things I wanted to cover. It's super easy to use, and it's probably something we're going to be using rather regularly in this course and in future ones. So that covers a lot of the functionalities that v0.dev offers. There's one last thing that we can also take a look at, and that is how to generate our code based on an image. So let me click on new chat, and let's try to replicate apple.com. Okay, let me do a snip. All right. Let's come back here, and I'm just going to do paste, and my prompt will be replicate this exactly. Now, over here, you're actually able to attach files, which could be your code itself. So sometimes you might have written down something and you want it to appear inside v0.dev so that you can play around with it. So you can basically just attach it by either sometimes just copy pasting your code into this, and it will recognize that you're pasting code, and then it will essentially just add a little file over here, or you can just go over here and select the files that you want to add, and it will do that as well. You can also get the images from Figma if you want instead of copy pasting it, but for us this will do for now. So let's see what it's able to create. Alrighty, there we go. So this is actually looking very similar to the Apple page, except it doesn't have that fancy image in the center. And you can see that we have a placeholder image that's over here. It's even managed to copy the Apple logo. And this is looking pretty nice. It's a good starting point if you're trying to create something like the Apple website. You can also tell it to loosely copy, and you can also, as of this point, tell it to make some changes, change up the style, so on and so on. But overall, that's whatever I wanted to cover. And thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you ever want to go back to the previous project that you created or the previous chat, you just go to the library and you can access the previous dashboard that we had created. If you guys found this video useful, please like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our future videos. We offer lots of resources for Gen AI and data science at our website, so there should be some links popping up if you're interested. Apart from that, thank you so much for joining me here, and see you guys in the next video.